Namaste. Welcome to the session 2021-22. As you are aware, regular classes are not being held at college campus owing to COVID-19, hence this online class. You should subscribe to this channel so that every time I upload a new video, you'll get a notification. This lecture is about epigraphy, which is the 7th paper of the students of MA History. So let's begin. Let us first check your syllabus. Your entire course is divided into 3 broad sections. The first section is a general introduction to epigraphy. What is epigraphy? How an epigraphist works, and what is the importance of epigraphy for reconstruction of history. Then inscriptions, their broad classification. Next is ancient scripts, how the system of writing started in India, its development over the centuries. We'll also learn about the Brahmi and Kharoshthi scripts in this context. Next section of your syllabus relates with dating in history and the era or Samvat as prevalent during ancient India. It also deals with a few inscriptions like inscriptions of Ashok, pillar inscription erected by Heliodorus, and the Hathi Gumfa cave inscription of Kharvel. The last section contains description of various important inscriptions found from all over India, including inscriptions of Kanishk II, Nanaghat inscription, Girnar inscription of Rudradaman, the Prayag Prashasti, Ahol inscription of Pulkeshin II, and the Gwalior inscription of Mehir Bhoj. If you want to download this syllabus, this is the link which you can use. Now let's begin with how should we define epigraphy. Epigraphy is the study of old inscriptions or epigraphs which relates to their decipherment, interpretation and classification. This means epigraphy is essentially a study of inscriptions, and an epigraphist works with all archaeologists, paleographists and scholars of different languages. Therefore, good knowledge of language is essential, as many epigraphs considered excellent piece of literature inscribed on stone. We have many examples, out of which I am quoting here 2 examples. First, the Allahabad pillar inscription of Samudragupta, which was highly appreciated for the poetic skills of its author, and fragments of inscriptions of Vigraharaj IV, also known as Bisal Dev, which are present at the monument Adhai Din Ka Jhopda at Ajmer, and here we can find depiction of 2 dramas called Lalit Vigraharaj and Harikeli Vijay on stone. The number of edicts found in the Indian subcontinent is quite large. During 1960s, D.C. Sarkar, an eminent scholar and historian, observed that if someone counted these edicts, which belong to proto-historic and historic periods of Indian history, they should not be less than 90,000 in all. Over the decades, this number could have increased to more than 100,000, and this makes inscriptions a very abundant and important source for writing history, which cannot be ignored by any historian. Then let's define inscriptions or edicts. Inscriptions are defined as piece of writing carved or inscribed on some hard surface which is not easily perishable. We have many examples of such mediums. like stone or rocks, metal, wood, ivory, clay tablets, pottery, and even baked bricks. Coins also bear legends which are important for history writing. In fact, sometimes coins are the only source of history for certain periods. For example, coins of Indo-Greeks or the tribal coins of ancient India. On this slide, I have given a few examples of different types of inscriptions which you can read. Here are some pictures showing different types of inscriptions. The first one is of a famous rock edict found at Girnar. Then we can see a copper plate. This inscription is in Sharda script situated at Chamba. Next is a potsherd. Tamil Brahmi, we can see a Tamil Brahmi inscription here. And after this, the last one is again a copper plate. This inscription is from Assam. This inscription belongs to Balvarman III. So let's talk about now. Let's talk about script. How to define a script? Script is a set of symbols which represents visually the sounds of communication. All developed languages have their own scripts, but it is not necessary that the script thus used is limited to only one language. In fact, we have examples where a script is used for more than one languages, like here in the case of Devanagari, which is used by Sanskrit, Prakrit, Marathi, Nepali, Konkani, Sindhi, Kashmiri, Garhwali, Bodo, Angika, Magadhi, Bhojpuri, Maithili, Santhali, and of course Hindi. Knowledge of a script is essential for an epigraphist to understand what is written on an inscription or edict. This picture depicts Brahmi script. It is a shot from an inscription. This is a wooden inscription. Kharoshthi script is carved into wood here. These pictures belong to the seals of Indus Valley, and they bear Indus alphabets which are yet to be deciphered. And the last one is a coin of Gupta Emperor Chandragupta. This coin also bears, this gold coin also bears coin legends, which, as I said earlier, are important for reconstruction of history. Now I have mentioned a couple of books here which you may find useful for the preparation of this paper, and let us finish this topic here, this brief introduction here, and in the next class we will study the importance of epigraphy in the reconstruction of political history of India. Thank you.